Welcome to the Canestral Personal Protective Equipment Training Lite for EHS Groups B and C employees. Personal protective equipment, also known as PPE, is essential for protecting employees and visitors from safety and health hazards in the factory. Many accidents and injuries can be avoided by the use of PPE at all appropriate times. The purpose of this training is to provide general guidance on the personal protective equipment available for use at the Canestral facility by employees, visitors, vendors, and contractors, and when and why it must be worn. If you should have any questions, concerns, or require assistance, please don't hesitate to contact EHS at extension 7000 or via email at jshackelford@canestral.com. Canestral employees who occasionally enter the PDL factory with a visitor, vendor, or contractor to host a tour or complete a task are responsible for following all engineering and work practice controls implemented to eliminate and reduce hazards. Then use appropriate PPE if these controls do not eliminate the hazards for the job tasks they will perform in accordance with company policies as indicated by a standard operating procedure, posted signage, or is otherwise instructed as determined by a PPE risk assessment. And ensuring that vendors, visitors, and contractors wear the appropriate PPE to protect their health and safety as required for the task or service they have been hired to perform or during a factory tour. Please note that these are minimum requirements. Specific tasks and special conditions may require additional PPE. If unsure, please check with your manager or the EH&S department. Eye and face protection is designed to protect against potential eye injuries caused by airborne dust and flying particles, chemicals that might splash, and intense light. Visitor glasses are used for moderate impact and exposures. Goggles protect eyes and eye sockets and facial area immediately surrounding the eyes from impact dust and splashes. Face shields protect face and eyes from dust and potential splashes or sprays of hazardous liquids, and flying sparks produced during welding activities. Laser and light safety glasses protect eyes from intense concentrations of light produced by lasers, the sun, and bright backlights used to identify defects in devices. In some cases, it may be necessary to wear safety glasses or goggles and a face shield to ensure adequate protection. Hand protection should be used to minimize the risk of hand injuries. The types of injuries to guard against include chemical exposures, burns, bruises, abrasion, cuts, punctures, fractures, and amputations. The nature of the hazards and the operation to be performed will determine your selection of gloves. The variety of potential hand injuries may make selecting the appropriate pair of gloves more difficult than choosing other PPE. Take care to choose gloves designed for the particular circumstances of the task you will perform. For example, if the hazards associated with the task you are going to perform include exposure to chemicals and a potential cut from a sharp object, it may be necessary to wear cut-resistant gloves and chemical-resistant gloves to protect against an injury. Open toe and/or open heel shoes may not be worn in the factory at any time. Safety footwear should be used to prevent foot injuries from heavy objects, such as barrels or tools that might roll over or fall onto feet. Sharp objects, such as nails or spikes, present in work and construction areas that might pierce the soles, and hot, wet, or slippery surfaces. Disposable shoe covers must be worn over street shoes to protect them from chemical contamination and help keep production area floors clean and free of dirt and debris. Body protection should be used to protect against cuts from broken glass while handling and moving glass and devices, and splashes of hazardous chemicals in lab and chemical production areas. Different materials will protect against different chemical and physical hazards. When chemical or physical hazards are present, be sure to verify the material selected will provide protection from the specific chemical or physical hazard. For example, a cut-resistant jacket may not protect you from chemicals and cuts, so it might be necessary to wear both under certain circumstances. Head protection should be used to protect against head injuries. Common causes of head injuries include falling objects and bumping one's head against fixed objects, such as exposed pipes or beams. Before using a hard hat, make sure the suspension system is intact and doesn't show signs of deterioration. Also make sure the brim or shell are not cracked, perforated, or deformed, or show signs of exposure to heat, chemicals, or ultraviolet light. It is very important to properly take care of and maintain PPE. Always inspect PPE before each use. Never store PPE in chemical impacted areas, in work carts, or on the floor. Never wear or store PPE in the office, break room, or conference rooms. Never take PPE home. Clean your PPE with water and wipe it with a clean cloth when it gets dirty. Be sure to put your name on your PPE and replace it when it shows signs of damage, wear, and tear. Some examples of the PPE provided by Canestrol for employees, vendors, and contractors for use are various types of gloves, chemical-resistant body protection such as lab coats, aprons, cut-resistant jackets and aprons, safety glasses, goggles, face shields, hard hats, earplugs, and respirators. In conclusion, always dress for safety and success by wearing all of the appropriate PPE for the job to protect against safety and health hazards that may be present and prevent an injury or illness. Thank you for completing this training. Hope you have a great day and always stay safe.